Hi, I'm Timmy Hayes. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is mainly a music channel. Um, this is one of my vlog videos. I post these occasionally. So I've been getting asked by some friends or people, they ask me uh, how I make music and music videos. So I'm not going to go into so much detail about how to do everything, because that's, there's courses online for different programs, and it takes a lot of knowledge and practice and doing these things to learn how to do them. None of it's easy, um, but it's all doable even if you don't have really much knowledge in music theory or whatever. So I'm how I do it. Um, One, I have a lot of experience in music. That's not to say that I'm a fantastic musician or something like that, but I'm extremely fortunate that I was exposed to music at an early age. So I'm fairly knowledgeable about music theory, and I have real world experience where I've played instruments in groups. So I started learning violin from the age of 6, and I played into my teens, classical music. I'm not saying I'm like classically trained or whatever, but I suppose that's, you can say that, because I learned a lot of classical songs. At the age of 8, I started learning piano. Um, since I was 13 years old, for 6 years, I played viola in the school orchestra. All those things gave me a lot of experience in classical music. I was exposed to a lot of classical music. I got really into rock music at an early age, and then I started exploring other genres. I think since I was 6 or 7 years old, I was really into classic rock. And then I started getting into rap when I was 12 or 13. And then I was really into bands like the Gorillas and just all kinds of bands. And we're fortunate that music is so open now. You can listen to anything, just bloop, bloop, bloop on your computer. So that's a big part of learning music. You got to listen to it. You got to listen to as much music as you can. And yeah, everyone likes different things, right? But even if you don't like something, I feel as a musician, you should listen to it and try to understand what it is that you like or don't like about it. So that's my advice as someone who makes music, is listen to as much music as possible. If you really like something, try to understand why you like it, or what about it makes you pop, or if you don't like something, what about it that you dislike. Now, the program I actually use to produce music is Logic Pro X, which you pay for it, and it's only available on Mac, so like iMac or MacBooks. So there's a default program that's got all the basics. It's called GarageBand. It comes with your Mac. So that's what I started learning off of. And that has all the basics. You can make some pretty good music on GarageBand, actually. It's got everything you need. It's what I started on. I made some decent mixes. Nothing amazing, but Logic Pro X has a lot more features and a lot more standard um, industry, what do you call them, features available. So it's much easier to use. But these things have a steep learning curve. How I learned was I went on YouTube and I looked up like how to use GarageBand, and then that led me to other websites and other. I just kept googling and learning and learning. So learning music and playing instruments is one thing, but learning how to use a digital audio workstation It's another thing. You need more equipment if you're going to record real instruments or things like vocals. You need something called an interface, so you can plug in a mic and or music, digital instruments, things like that. So these days, I would say it's the easiest to ever make music, right? Easiest time to make music because hell, with sampling and looping, like you don't really need to create music. You can arrange music and make a cool sounding song. You can remix stuff, so you can take like 5 different songs, chop up different features of it, and then go in and arrange them in a way that you like, and then warp different aspects. So many popular songs do that, and then you can sing over it. Boom, you got a song. You're a musician. Blah, right? That's an option as well. Now, the way I think about it is like, let's say you're an art or a painter, right? You've got your palette, right? Now, learning how to do more stuff adds different colors to your palette. So let's say like you learn how to play the violin, that's red. You learn piano, that's green. You learn different instruments, you get more colors. You learn how to use a digital audio workstation, that's going to add like a whole different spectrum of colors and then more colors. Now, you can have all these colors and still be a fucking horrible painter. Like you can just make a mess and no one's going to connect to it. It's just going to look like a smear. And there's artists who only have one color and they can create a beautiful, like those photorealistic, what do you call them? Drawers, artists who use charcoal, right? It's only black. It's only a black charcoal pencil, and they make these incredible hyper-realistic portraits. Now we can argue like good versus interesting and skill level versus creating something interesting, right? So you can make a photorealistic drawing and it's still okay, that's cool, but kind of boring. The cool part is the skill level, and then the work itself is like, okay, it just looks like a person. And then somewhat, what's that guy's name? Jean Baptiste or something? Anyway, he's or we can think of a lot of artists that maybe they're not great artists in a classical sense, but they create interesting works. Now, my point of view is someone like Picasso, who was an amazing classical painter first, and then he learned the rules and learned how to do things, and then he broke them apart, and he created his own unique perspective on art. And that's where Cubism and Dadaism was born, because he took his perspective and applied it to his skill level. Salvador Dali, amazing painter, but it was his unique skill set that brought out the intrinsic divinity of his art. So I think it takes both. You can make a good song and not have skill level. That's, auto-tune and, like I said, loops and slicing and arranging. Like, you can make cool little songs, and you don't even have to be, like, lyrically deep to make a fun song. Like, what's that one song? It's that rap song. It's popular now. It goes like, I spy with my something. It's got hella auto-tune. It's not saying anything interesting or significant, but it's a fun song. It's a good song, The guy can't sing. He's not a great rapper, but he brings his his fun energy to it. There's different kinds of art and different levels of art, music doesn't always have to be super deep or whatever. Like, it can just sound good to sound good. It can just be fun. But you can say like that song compared to something by Tom Waits, totally different. It's different stuff. Yeah, they're both songs, they're both music, but it's different kinds of art. It's on different spectrums. So that's how I make music. I learn about it. I put it out there, and I try to do my best with it. So like with Logic Pro, I took an online course. I watched so many fucking YouTube videos to learn how to do all of it. And it just took a lot of practice. Like I made so many songs, and yeah, I've put out a lot of stuff, but man, I have no idea how many demos and songs that I've tinkered with that I've never put out and will never put out. And then even on my phone, while I'm walking, sometimes I'll get a song idea and I'll go blah 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 blah, and I'll record it, and then nothing will come of that. So it's kind of this process of just you got to keep doing it and fucking it up, and then fucking it up some more, and then something okay comes out, and then you look at that okay thing and you go like, oh, this is shit, I want to make this better, and then you make it better, or you don't and you move on, and the next thing you do, you try to make that better, and it's endless, trying to get better. But yeah, mixing, mastering, producing, all that, like there's tons of resources online that you can look up. Udemy.com, udemy.com. I looked up Logic Pro X course, and one of the best-selling ones. I did that, and it goes over everything a little too thoroughly. It was too much for me to learn, so I learned like half of it, and that was enough for what I'm doing right now. So that's music. Videos and video editing. Why I started making videos was because I was so sick of trying to find someone to do it for me. I met some people and they were like, oh yeah, we make videos, we can help you with the music video, and things kept falling through with scheduling and stuff like that. Like, everyone's busy, I get it, and you know, I'm working a day job, I don't have like a huge budget, it's all very like you know, do it yourself indie artist shit. So I really just got tired. So it's like GarageBand was a default program on Mac, so I was making music there, and then iMovie was the default program for the Mac as well. So when I first opened it up, I had no idea what I was looking at. I had no idea how to do any of it. I was so confused, and even uploading a song with the still image and the music, even that was difficult for me to learn. I just had no clue what I was looking at. And so I had to watch a shit ton of YouTube videos just to figure out iMovie. And iMovie is like so stripped down, basic. It's kind of like GarageBand, but even less. GarageBand is has most of what you need. Logic Pro X takes it to the next level, but iMovie is like bare bones basic. But it's still pretty good. It has all the basics. And you can see on my channel Sleep Sound and Joe Rogan's Eternal Goat Song. Those are the two music videos I made using iMovie. And I was having fun, kind of. Just figuring things out, trying to be creative. They're very low quality, whatever, but the ideas behind them are fun, and it got me started. It taught me like the skeletal structure of video editing, like what to look at. I'm going to release the first video I made, well, actually, technically, first video I made, so I switched to Adobe Suite. So I have all the Adobe programs. So I mainly use Adobe Photoshop for like album covers and stuff. So like hopeless romantic, that kind of negative look and stuff. Like I do all that shit. I'm making all this shit myself. Like no one's doing it for me. Like the most people have done for me is like hold a camera, or in my music video Deep Inside, someone is dancing. My friend is dancing. That's it. Everything else I'm fucking doing. I'm making the artwork, the music, the videos. I don't think people watching this understand. Like I'm doing everything myself. That's why like I'm learning as I'm going. Um, I'm not a professional video editor or music producer, so I didn't go to school for this shit. I'm just learning it myself, and it's hard when you're doing every fucking thing yourself. But so Adobe Photoshop for like photo manipulation, artwork. Adobe Illustrator. I use that for my animated music video. She Loves Me. So I illustrated the elements first, and then I exported them out to After Effects, so Adobe After Effects, and then Adobe Premiere Pro. Those are the four main programs I use. So Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects, and Premiere Pro. Premiere Pro is the main video editing program, and then After Effects you can kind of put fluff on it or animation. So I kind of jumped in feet first into using Adobe because I started with the animated music video when I freehand draw sometimes, and sometimes I can draw pretty good, but I'm not I don't consider myself a painter or an artist in a drawing sense, but it's a really simple animated music video, but I knew nothing about video animations or anything, so it was really difficult learning the program. Like iMovie, I kind of got a sense of like where things were, and then I'm looking at Premiere and After Effects, and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm looking at. It was just so much stuff. And then you have something called keyframing, where you can change the length of when different special effects kick in, and there's time remapping and all kinds of stuff to learn, and it's a lot. It's a lot. And then, like, as I learn stuff, I forget stuff, so I have to look it up on YouTube again. How do I do this thing? I do that all the time. Like, I just for my latest song, I'm going to kill myself tomorrow. I took a scene from the Royal Tenenbaums, that quote where he says, "I'm going to kill myself tomorrow." He slits his wrist, and the blood's going down. So I took a still from that movie. And then I used Photoshop to isolate the red and turn everything black and white except for the blood. So I forgot how to do that kind of stuff, so I had to YouTube how do I isolate red in a grayscale photo, and then I had to watch a video and then follow the video. So it's a lot of just, you gotta learn how to do stuff over and over again, and it takes a lot of time. Like my music video, Girls, Cocaine, Money, and Fame, just like my dick is out in it, and I used After Effects to draw red over it to censor it, and I had to go through every single frame during the chorus and scribble over it. One frame, scribble. One frame, scribble. So that it takes a lot of time to do these things. That's why most people don't do these things. You gotta learn how to do them, and that takes a lot of time. You gotta make like a million shitty things to learn how to do them too. That takes a lot of time. Like, you're gonna make stuff that's not worth showing anyone because it's shit. And then you're gonna look at it and be disappointed. And then when you finally get a good idea and you learn how to do it, that's gonna take the most amount of time because you're gonna put the most amount of effort into it. It's like learning an instrument. Like, the reason why most people don't learn how to sing or play an instrument, anyone with a working voice, working ears, fingers, body functionality, can play an instrument and can sing. The thing is, it takes an incredible amount of effort and time. And some people are more naturally gifted than others. Some people can pick things up right away and be crazy with it. Those are geniuses, right? Or very talented individuals. someone like Mozart, who's a musical genius, but most people can learn how to carry a tune and stuff. It takes so much time and effort, and you're gonna suck at first for a long time. Like, let's say you're learning violin, like the first 1,000 pieces you learn, you're probably gonna sound pretty bad, and then you start getting good. And then even when you're good, you gotta keep practicing. In my latest song, I'm Going to Kill Myself Tomorrow, I played violin, and it's been, I said at the beginning of this video, I've been learning violin since I was 6, but I haven't practiced violin in maybe a year. It's been a long time because I've been focused on other things, and man, I was shocked by how bad I played. Well, not shocked because I kind of knew that I wouldn't play well because I haven't been practicing. So yeah, you can, like, I'm saying, like, I'm just saying how to learn these things, what I use. I'm not saying how I do it because, like, I can't explain that. Like, I get ideas, and then here's how it is. I get an idea, it's kind of vague. I'm like, I kind of know where I want to go with this, right? Like, Deep Inside, that music video. I went in my room. I have a green screen in my room, right? And I was like, all right, I'm going to put on makeup. And even that, I only had a vague idea. So I was like, I want purple lipstick and this. And as I started putting it on, I was like, oh, okay, this will look good. This will look good. And then I sat in front of the green screen, and I took a bunch of different takes of me singing the song. And then I had taken a bunch of takes of my friend dancing. So then when I was putting them together, it was really like, what looks good, how I can put things together to make it look as good as possible given what I have. So that's the thing, like, when you're doing something, like, you gotta try to make things as good as possible and then work with what you got. And that's another thing I've learned with filming, like, things I didn't learn, had no idea about. Like, lighting is so important. I didn't know anything about lighting, but when you're using a green screen and you key things out, like, lighting makes a huge difference in how well the green screen works. And then how things show up on a screen with lighting, like, if the light is coming from the side or overhead or under, like, it changes the appearance of things. So you can learn all these things, but it doesn't affect, like, what you create, what you do. Like I said, it's like colors on your palette, right? Like, learning filming techniques or stuff about lighting and using a green screen, like, boop, boop, boop. But then, your skill level and then what you create with them, that's all up to you. So if you were curious about how I make stuff, I've been asked that a few times recently. So maybe this kind of will help you get started making your own things, because as a creative person myself, I love it when other people decide to become creative and they go and they do their own thing and they become good at their own thing, because life is beautiful, right? Like, there's so much in life. There's so much art, and we each have something inside us that makes us beautiful and special, and when we're able to express that to one another, it creates affinity between one another. We're able to understand each other better, or if not understand one another better, we're able to explore our inner worlds together better, because the world is highly complex and we know next to nothing about anything. We know a lot, we do, but there's so much more that we don't know. Like, hell, I can't even explain everything about myself, and I'm me. And it's fun, it's great, right? Like, no, not everyone's gonna be creative. it's not for everyone. Like I said, it takes a lot of effort, and it takes a lot of time and energy and resources, and not everyone has that kind of creative space available to them. But to whatever extent you're allowed creativity, and however much you feel motivated by it, I hope that, if it's music or video editing, like I said, you use the programs. There's so many music programs and video editing software you can use. So like I said, what I use mainly is Logic Pro X and Adobe. So Adobe Premiere, Adobe After Effects, Adobe Illustrator, and Adobe Photoshop. So Logic Pro X and then Adobe. Now there's other options like Final Cut Pro, FL Studio, Ableton, there's Reaper, there's free video editing softwares that are pretty good, like DaVinci Resolve. And then there's stuff that I haven't gotten into that I want to get into eventually, like using Blender, a free 3D rendering software. I have it. I've been exploring it, but that's like a whole nother, like, creating 3D models and videos. It's like, whew, it's so much more to learn. I have friends that use, there's a program called like Coral for illustrating, and she's pretty good with that. So Google is your friend. YouTube is your friend. There's other learning sites like Udemy. I recommend that one. That one's, I think when you sign up, you get like an insane discount. I got an insane discount where the course was like over $100, but I only paid like 15. So, yeah. Hey, shit. If I can do it, you can do it, right? Like, I'm doing almost everything alone. It takes a lot of money and time, right? With not a lot of, I guess, rewards. That's why it's a hobby of passion, right? I don't have a lot of subscribers. I'm grateful to the ones I have. It's very flattering that there's people out there interested in what I'm creating. But, I'm not getting money out of it. I've put in way more money into it than I've made, but it's okay. Like, it's what I love doing, and with all that in mind, if it's something that still interests you, I wish you all the best of luck in your creative journey, and thanks for listening. Peace out.